Welcome back to Witness Richness. It's your man, JCP, and as always, I am super excited to be back in front of the camera. First and foremost, I'm not sure if you can notice the audio, but I finally upgraded my new audio system. And it wasn't really about, me buying the system. It was more about integrating it, learning how to use it, and replacing my old mic and this, that, and the third. But it's all done. Top of the line products, top of the line quality, audio just for you. Now, getting into it. Today's video was about this this force, this like negative or gravitational force that causes imbalances. And I call it resistance. Very cliche, but let me take you out to the intro. See you back here in a minute. So where does this come from, this idea of resistance, right? Well, I do a lot of self-reflection. And if you watch my channel, you would know that throughout my journey of leaving my job to becoming a entrepreneur and just developing myself as a man and human being, I have these reflection periods where I kind of think back to points in my life and just reflect. So where I'm at right now in this transition, leaving my job 3 years ago, building up a passive income through real estate, replacing my income, and then pretty much just running it up, buying as much properties as I can, to now transitioning to YouTube and making content and just developing myself as a person. I came into this point where, I want to be prolific, right? I'm enjoying art more these days, more forms of expression, okay, through music, through poetry, through writing my own books, and short stories, making my YouTube content, more forms of expression. And I guess I'm looking for this prolific nature. My brother Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace, he had this, infamous or famous prolific tattoo. And what prolific means, in my ideology behind prolific, is that, you are some sort of an artist or some sort of creator, right? And through your creation, you put out a prolific amount of, content. It could be, or prolific amounts of art. Pablo Picasso is said to have produced somewhere between 40 and 50,000 paintings, right? So it's like this prolific nature, meaning that whatever your craft is, you are, putting out massive amounts of content. And as I transitioning to identifying myself as an artist now, it's like, what am I going to be prolific at? I'm feeling that I can be prolific in all these things. But, what's happening is I'm having this force work against my prolific nature. And sometimes I lose the battle and sometimes I win the battle. And, I'm starting to find this same type of draw in my artistry, through music and my YouTube content, through entrepreneurship, is that there's always that idea that you might have in your mind, even with your diet. It kind of like transcends all through life in this resistance. And what the resistance is, okay, is that imbalance that I have in my life, or you may have in your life, meaning that you have an idea, a vision of how you see your life, of how you want your life. You have this higher calling for your life. And through that higher calling or that vision, you may have to take certain steps, certain habits, certain professional habits on a day-to-day basis. And you tell yourself through meditation or through this reflection period, speaking to your higher self, the exact steps you need to get done, right? And then the next day comes by and it's like, wait, yesterday I said I want to go to the gym, I'm trying to get these 6-packs in. And now it's the next day and I don't feel like going to the gym. Well, there you have resistance. There you have an imbalance from what your higher self wants and whatever this resistance comes from, right? And this resistance is somewhat negativity. I mean, whatever's not working in tandem or conducive to your future success or your success now would be negative. It's working against you. And the idea is like this resistance is not really an outside force. This resistance really comes from within, right? It's really my own blockage. It's my own gravitational pull that I'm putting on my own mind. And it's um, how do you crack the code? How do you crack the code? I think first and foremost is the idea of noticing that there is a resistance and noticing that, this resistance can cause huge off balances in your life, way later down the road because, you might be a person who has an idea for how you want your life to be, but because you never, you didn't fight that resistance, to get that action done this day, this day, and this day, and this day in consistency, your life doesn't add up to where you exactly want it to be. And it's because you're losing the battle with resistance. Now, there's a couple tricks that I use to help break my resistance, but listen, I'm still, every single day it's the same battle. It's, I get up, I'm a little sore from the gym, I get to the gym. I get up, I want to go, have my mind on this, that, and the third. I got to meditate first. You know what I'm saying? And it's these constant battles of just, I don't want to eat that bad food right now, but it's looking good. And then now we have this resistance factor, and it's a consistent thing. So one of the things that I've been doing lately to help me break this resistance is just taking it day by day, right? And then the night before I go to sleep, I actually get a checklist out and I write down, or I have a mental checklist and all the things that I feel are going to move the needle for me the next day. And the next day that comes, it's like, okay, now I get up in the morning time and I've realized I have my regular schedule, right? I'm going to wake up, I'm going to stretch, meditate, whether it's a gym day or cardio day, I figure it out. And then from that point, it's okay, get to the first thing. And in some days, I'm just myself as a human being, I'll do my regular morning routine and then I won't do nothing for 6-7 hours. And then I'll be sitting there kind of feeling down on myself, like I didn't get it done. Like what happened? And a week later, 2 weeks later, a month later, I haven't recorded a YouTube video, and it's like this resistance got me again. Not likely that you're gonna get up and enjoy doing every task you have to do throughout the day. At the end of the day, there are things that you're gonna have to get done to move the needle to make sure that future version of yourself is lining up. Because again, you having a vision of yourself, and then you having the work ethic to put in behind it, then you not doing it means that there's an imbalance between how you see life and how you want life to be and what the reality is in this realm. And what the reality is in this realm is, an adaptation of your day-to-day habits, right? But, it's one thing to know all the things that work for you, but it's also a great thing to understand what works against you. That way you can kind of understand when it's happening. So for me, understanding that what's going to stop my prolific nature is this resistance. And that resistance is simply a thought process that says, okay, I want to do this, I need to do this, but I don't do it. Or I'm not doing it right now. Why am I not doing it right now? Because there's resistance. What is this resistance? I don't know, but it's working against me. And I know it's so simple, but for me, it's such a profound, little train of thought to say, okay, you know what? Let me make sure I get this done, because that resistance is what holds people back from being prolific. And let's be frank, not everybody is prolific. And as a matter of fact, there are few or far in between who are prolific. And if you seek out to be prolific like I do, then that resistance is the first thing that I've been noticing. And it's crazy because obviously I've had resistance working against me my entire life. But now that I'm like looking into artistry and being prolific, I can feel it weighing down on me more and more and more. And I don't think that feeling is ever going to go away. I think that my mindset just has to be that every single day I'm going to face these same choices and these same options and these same feelings. But I know that, it's negativity. It's not for me. It's against me. It's if I'm doing things for good, then in some aspects, in some way or form, it's evil. So now for me to come out of this self-reflection period and notice this resistance, this force holding me back and causing imbalances in my life, I invite you to sit down for a second and think about, for the last 5 to 10 years, all the visions you might have had in your mind that you did not, bring to fruition, and think, what was it exactly? Well, I tell you one thing, it definitely was resistance, but what happened within your own mind that allowed you to lose that battle? So listen, I take it day by day, but the first step to come into any type of real solution is to first to identify the problem or identify the delay, and realizing that this force is in there and it's in there every single day at every waking moment. It empowers you to understand the process of breaking your own resistance. So take a minute to do a self-reflection and think about some of your ideas where you want to see yourself, or some of the things you want to manifest in your life that you may not have manifested just yet, and realize or try to pinpoint the resistance factor within a manifestation that you have. Because the more you can have these visions, right, and actually bring them to fruition and manifestation, the more powerful that muscle of manifestation is. Listen, that's a deep one. Understand that. The more you have these visions and the more you bring them to reality, the more powerful that mind muscle manifestation is. Speaking theory, but for me, myself, okay, I have manifested a lot of my visions over the last 3 years. And the way it's looking right now, the way I'm lining things up, I have a few more major manifestations I'm working on. And, if I wasn't actually using these reflection periods for growth, and if I didn't feel like it was working for me in my life, I wouldn't share it with you. So once again, this is a quick video on this resistance, and I would definitely invite you to do your own research on this energy, this resistance working against you, and ways that you can overcome this resistance going forward. And if you notice any resistance right now in your day-to-day actions, go ahead and drop a comment below. Let's talk about it. Let's come up with some ideas and some solutions to identifying these resistances and breaking through those. As always, my brother, as always, my sister, this is the wide open invitation. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in next week's video.